All right, so you want to move and live in North Bend, Washington. Well, in this video, we're going to go through some of the perks, some of the pros of living in North Bend, and of course, we're going to look at some of the cons of living in North Bend as well. So if you're interested to learn what it's like to live here, what are the positives, what are the negatives, then you're going to want to stick around, and we're going to jump into it right now. Hey, if this is your first time to the channel, make sure that you click the bell for notifications. Click the subscribe button so that you're the first to know anytime we come out with a new video highlighting one of our favorite cities and neighborhoods here in the King County area. My name is Derek Decater, one of the owners here at the Decater Home Team, and we get calls, texts, and emails from people just like you every day who are looking to make a move into King County. Whether you're a day away or a year away, our goal is to make that transition and that process as smooth as possible. In this video, we're going to talk about the pros and the cons of living in North Bend, Washington. I actually live in North Bend right now, relocated, have been in Issaquah and Snoqualmie, and now we are in North Bend, so we keep moving closer and closer to the mountains, and we love it. One of the major pros of North Bend is the location. We are right off of I-90, and even so, you can find communities, and most of the communities in North Bend are like this, easy access to the freeway. But once you get off the freeway, you feel like you are actually kind of out in nature, and you can have a little bit more space, a little bit more privacy, and that's something that I know that we value quite a bit, and one of the main reasons we moved out there. The second pro is just the affordability. It is much more affordable to get a larger house, a larger lot, than if you were, say, in Issaquah or in Bellevue or on the Snoqualmie Ridge, or one of those areas that is moving towards Seattle on I-90. And so the affordability is much greater here in the North Bend area, which for us as a growing family, that was a massive draw for us. The third pro is the school district. And if you've seen any of our other videos here, most of these school districts on this I-90 corridor here on the east side of King County are pretty phenomenal, and that is true in North Bend as well, with everyone feeding into that Snoqualmie school district. You're going to be looking at Twin Falls Middle School, Opstead Elementary, and you're going to be going to Mount Si High School as your high school. And Mount Si High School, if you haven't seen, we'll show some videos of it and some pictures. It's beautiful. It was just rebuilt a couple years ago. Phenomenal school for education, phenomenal school for athletics as well, and just a beautiful location at the base of Mount Si, which is of course one of the other major pros here in North Bend, is just the scenery, the location, the views. Where you're at in the state is just gorgeous. You've got the evergreens, you've got Mount Si right there. You can look from the freeway and see the Cascade Mountains, and yet you can also jump on I-90 and you can get to Lake Sammamish, you can get to Seattle fairly quickly. And so that would be the other pro, is the location here and in North Bend. All right, it's not all pros. There are some cons to living in North Bend, and I have harped on it quite a bit here in the King County videos, but the first one, we'll get it right, we'll get it out of the way, because I think you know what's coming. It's gonna be the weather, right? You had better be used to a little rain, you had better be used to some dark mornings and dark evenings and some cloud cover. Something that you have to get used to if you're not from this area, and that is one of the cons. I've said it in other videos too. That con, I always like to sprinkle in the fact that with it there is some pros, and that we wouldn't have the views and the scenery and the attractions in terms of the lakes and the mountains that we have if it wasn't for some of those weather patterns that we are right in the middle of. Now, North Bend in particular is a little bit different because we are actually, we are right in the valley, as they call it, and so some of the weather that we get is coming off the mountains, and it can kind of sit on us for a little bit longer. It's not uncommon to have it be raining in North Bend. You jump on the freeway, you're 5 minutes away and you're going towards Issaquah, and everything kind of opens up and there's some clear skies. So you are kind of stuck in that a little bit more as you're in North Bend. But again, you know, take it for what it is, and we wouldn't have what we have without that weather. The second con to living in North Bend is just the lack of shopping, of commerce. It's not as small as somewhere maybe like Falls City down the road. You do have your main drag there in downtown North Bend that's going to have some phenomenal restaurants and shopping. You've also got your North Bend Outlet Mall, which is a big hot spot for shopping, but you're not going to have access to some of the larger brand names. You're not going to have access to your Costco's or going to the mall. You're going to have to go to Bellevue for that. And so that is one of the negatives, is you're not going to have as much shopping here in North Bend as you would in some of the other cities here in King County. Con number 3 kind of piggybacks on number 2 is just the lack of nightlife, things to do. You're most likely not going to be just going down to downtown North Bend for a night out on the town. Now you will go down to North Bend and have dinner with the family, and then you're going to call it a night and you're going to head home. But anything kind of nightlife, you're going to have to go into Bellevue again, into Seattle, and again that's just the location that we're in. It's a smaller community. And so if that's important to you, just understand that that's gonna be about a 25-minute drive away for you. And then the last con of living in North Bend is some of the roads, the road condition is not always great. You're gonna have some potholes in areas, which goes back to the weather. The freeway gets beat up quite a bit because of the location. A lot of the semis are coming over the Cascade Mountains into Western Washington. You layer that with the freezing and thawing that we get in the winter, and some of the freeways get beat up quite a bit. Some of the side roads, same thing there. You're gonna have potholes, you're gonna have uneven roads in some places, and it sometimes takes a little while to get those things repaired. So that is another con out here in North Bend, which kind of relates to the location and the weather we get. It's not terrible, but it is noticeable and something that we pay attention to for those of us who live in North Bend. It's something that we like to pick on a little bit sometimes.